the meantime, that's going to be Illusion Open though as their first pick. And we talked about this summer season or summer Super Cup. The most oppressive first pick on your red side is Renekton and Lee Sin. And I expect Voyage to keep, hammering down the pain for Tante.
Strong start for the draft of LAKAN Esports. And now you have the Janna Kaisa combo down at Dragon Lane. Brom, of course, will be the support. And you have a Galio mid lane, most likely for MIRM000000. Let's see what is going to happen next. You also have the Rengar being picked up and an Irel yet to beat. So they really want to go with the full-on 5v5.
And they have no fear because the only disengage LAKAN has is the Janna. And the Janna is super squishy. Imagine there's, 4 people on your face? Rengar, Irelia, Galio, and Brom. Arjuk, I'm sorry, this is not going to be a fun time as the Janna. But as well as LAKAN, going up against a Galio here. So looking at the Renekton, looking at Lee Sin, with their intention is to basically go all in. You are going to get greeted by a taunt, so they should be careful. Make sure that the taunt is baited out first before going in full committal.
Minions have spawned.
Exactly. It is very, very, very exciting to see how this matchup is going to go. And this is the usual, this is Renekton, or rather the top laners, going in the mid lane just to soak up early experience. But this is a different part, though. Look at that. There's a gank.
That's going to be a flash in, or flash already down for the side of Irelia, but that's the first team being able to get the first blood. Lee Sin, the first one to actually get taken down. Now Brom is the next. He does have a target at his back. That is going to be 2 kills going over to LAKAN, 1 kill going over to MIRM000000.
That's an early tussle once more. First blood going over, just as you mentioned, to MIRM000000. And LAKAN, still though, they're in the lead for at least maybe just a couple of gold, 500 gold. But it's still a huge impact because look at MIRM000000. They've managed to land a couple of these early wards. So they can definitely spot out where LAKAN, or rather in particular, their Lee Sin is going to be.
So you have the Dene just holding his gun at the mid lane. 2 very tanky mid laners. I don't think there's much action here, given that Emperor would just focus on these pickoffs or either the full-on 5v5s. Darius, though, is going to be up against 2 champions plus a Rengar, but now you have Lee Sin making his way up top at the Baron. Looking at the Dragon Lane though, Aizen long up against this Irelia, just minding his own business, making sure that he can farm. You have Galio being pushed in a tad bit too deep into his turn.
Yeah, I can't imagine the Irelia can spin out of control as well. There is that option.
And it's going to be the stuns connecting, but the Dene was able to survey his way out there. You have the Rengar jumping in. It's going to be the taunt connecting again onto 1, but you also have another CC coming out from this Irelia. That is going to be Aizen being taken down. The ADC of LAKAN Esports, MIRM000000 Esports. This early game rotation is just very powerful.
It is. Galio, without the level 5, the taunt is still there. There's just so much kit and damage on the board for them to be very effective, even without the level 5, even without the ults. So now, what will LAKAN decide to do? This is an interesting lane swap. The biggest question is, where will the AP damage come from? Where will the magic come from? And I think there's none. So MIRM000000 can decide to opt for more of that armor just to defend up against the rest of LAKAN.
Also, another thing I would like to highlight is it's been a talk internationally that when you're up against a Kaisa, you can just pick up a Brom just to, stop the Icadian missiles, Icadian rain missiles coming through. And I guess that that is the reason why the Dragon Lane matchup has a tad bit, is actually leaning a bit into MIRM000000 Esports. But now I'm looking at apparently that is going to be Irelia just trying to maybe pick a fight with Darius. I don't think Darius is going to bite. I don't think Tante is actually going to jump in. But going back into the Dragon Lane, Now you have the actual Mirmu from Mirmo Esports just clearing out the wave here down below. Howling Gale is gonna connect. Void Tear gonna connect as well. The first dragon as well as the Herald is gonna be up in 25 seconds. No one is rotating or resetting just yet. It's gonna be Irela jumping in or popping in with the ultimate. But you know what? That is gonna be Theo's entrance coming out from this guy. Your toss are gonna connect. That is gonna be Darius being boxed in and eventually taken down. More kills going over to the men in blue.
Yeah, Mirmo getting everything so far in this game. I mean, it's still not a significant lead for themselves, but they are building towards. Look at the Dene though. Gonna bump into
Hello.
XC.
And it's gonna be the stuns connecting, but he was able to slice and dice his way out of there. Arjuk is lurking on the sides too, was able to put a shield. At the very least, Renekton is A-okay. He was forced to use his ultimate though to survive that one. So one important ultimate already down. Howling Gale still gonna be popped from Arjuk now. Both teams, they won this repel, but who will be able to get this? Stuns are gonna connect as well. Red team being able to steal the repel, but here comes Ice in the back line. Was able to kill it, instinct his way into the back line. Now Mirmu, given that repel has been stolen, they just want to disengage, rotate to the barrel lane, get this first outer turn.
Yeah, this is huge. This is huge because they get the Rift Herald and the Infernal Drake. This is exactly what, we brought up earlier in in series number 1. If you win the Rift Herald, then you can immediately transition to the Dragon if it is a 5v5. And LAKAN are definitely going to be happy with that because it's an Infernal Drake, the most sought after Drake. But look at Mirmo. In response, they're killing the inner tower atop.
I guess no more outer turns for the Baron lane is gonna spell bad. The calling is gonna connect on the Tante, but Tante will be very much happy to soak up in that damage. Now you have 4 champions at the side from the side of LAKAN Esports trying to chase down Mirmu. He does not have Blaze of Fisher. Winter's Fight is gonna connect onto Boy J, but Boy J is not gonna jump just yet. Emperor though, he does not have Hero's entrance just yet. Few more seconds in. Not sure if they're gonna try and pick a fight, but at the very least, they're just gonna focus on clearing out the wave. Both teams being very quiet. Mirmo Esports, they are 500, 600 gold ahead. When it comes to the kill count though, still pretty close for a game that's just in 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's still pretty much dead even. It's a very close game because whenever Mirmo decides to be aggressive somewhere off the map, LAKAN exchanges it. And with the Infernal Drake, I think that's gonna help propel. Especially they have Didene on this Renekton. They want Renekton to get ahead or Tante to get ahead as well with the resets. And there's big snowball potential for LAKAN on those 2 particular picks.
Oh no, that is gonna be Irelia just alone at the mid lane. And here comes the Irelia coming in with the ultimate, but still gonna try to do it out of this 2v. So will he survive? The answer is gonna be yes, because he was able to flash out then, and there shields coming through for the side of the men in blue. Here comes the first kill going over to Mirmo Esports. The Dene forced to jump back, and that is gonna be Lucian alongside his teammate recalling back because there is one casualty for the side of LAKAN.
Wow. Yeah. It has been an exchange of towers so far. And, I mean, look at the death. The death score is just 6 in total. But the map is in shambles. Look how deep the towers are gone now. It's already all to the inner tower of LAKAN is gone for bot side. And it's just completely clear on Mirmo's side. So with this early, Mirmo is definitely gonna suffer just because of the next following Drakes. The minion wave is gonna passively build and push towards their side eventually if they get to set that up. But good news actually for Mirmo, at least their bottom tower is still intact.
Still there as well, so gonna hold their ground up, but that is gonna be LAKAN. Taunt is gonna connect onto 3, but that is gonna be Galio just dashing out. The calling has been popped in there. Rengar looking for his next possible target, but LAKAN was able to disengage from that fight. Recall is gonna come through. Minion equilibrium in favor of Mirmu just because they were able to push out the Baron lane turrets and the wave up top.
It is Mirmo, just as you mentioned, prepping the wave just to make sure that they have enough space for the next dragon to spawn, even though it's not gonna come in a few seconds. They just want to make sure that they keep an eye on that lane. For now, looking at the itemization, we get to see the Seeker's Arm Guard kicking in for Emperor here on the Galio. Again, just because there's just so much armor, or rather, there's just so much AD damage on Lakan, they don't have to worry too much about your MR resistances because there's no AP as much. So with that, that is the approach that they're going to take. Triforce already completed for XCXP, so we can potentially see more damage output from this particular player. Still, though, Bork already completed for Yao Han. And we'll see if that's going to be enough, because so far, it has been very, very reserved. Reserved Aurelia, rather.
Ooh, that is gonna connect onto 2, but here comes XDXP jumping in, did not find a target just yet. Cloud Drake is now available, and now you have MIRM000000 just having first dibs on this dragon. Now that they jump in, but now you have the DNA. He does get caught up. The roots are gonna come through. He is gonna pop a missile, but look at that, it's gonna be Aurelia being able to secure that kill. A jump in, Bishop is gonna pop there as well, and that is the beat, the golden button for the side of Lee Sin, but he still gets disseminated by the solution. That is going to be a 2-0 in a favor of MIRM000000 Esports. Aside from getting 2 kills, they also got 1 turret plus possibly this dragon.
Yeah, so much for saying, Yao Han, a little bit of reserved Aurelia. Maybe not, because he just went full ham onto the Dene. He's the first victim, basically led Lakan forced to back away and retreat. And MIRM000000 gets that first dragon for themselves. And now it's looking pretty dicey. But all the kills, though, went towards Emperor, so he's 303. Look at this death brush they're setting up. I wonder who's going to walk into that trap.
Maybe Renekton, but it seems like Renekton is alongside Aurelia. Again, you have a lot of CCs to layer through or get through for the side of MIRM000000. Guys, come on! What happened there? When I suspect you also have a ton of it coming through for the side of LAKAN Esports. Aurelia does get taken down. That is going to be a jump in on to connecting on the 2. That is going to be re-engaged for the side of MIRM000000 Esports. That is them, the calling game pop. Rampage going over to Emperor, but that's double going over to LAKAN. That is a lot of kills going over to Isen. Flash in, flash out. Fisher connecting on to no one. Isen being taken down. Re-engage coming in for the side of MIRM000000 is just too much. LAKAN Esports forced to go back. That is going to be a 2-2 in favor of no one. But at the very least, you have MIRM000000. I thought he was going to try and get the Rip Scuttler, but it is still going over to LAKAN. While all of that craziness was happening near the Baron lane, Rengar was making his way downtown. Well, the middle part of the map at the mid lane.
Yeah, he's moving elsewhere, definitely. And I think this poses a problem. Yao Han was the first one to fall, yes. But LAKAN still has to consider MIRM000000. Again, this team is basically named after him, so I believe he is one of the strongest threats on this team. Look at him. Already has 2 items completed. Essence Reaver, Solari Rage Blade, Charge Blade rather. Oh geez, all these blades in the new patch. Right? So there's a lot of crit involved in this particular build. So he is gonna hurt every single time. Especially it synergizes well with all his abilities. Because both passives proc with the way that Illusion moves to proc his passive with the extra auto attacks as well.
Emperor just zoning him out. Taunt's connecting onto one, connecting on the Educator Ray. Will they be able to go with the steal? That is going to be a yes, no, maybe. No, Blue Team still being able to get the Baron Dasher. At top of that, they were able to get 2 champions. Double going over to MIRM000000 himself. Rampage for the solution, and they're not going to stop anytime soon. XDXP looking for his next possible juicy target, but now LAKAN is forced to disengage. You have Taunt at the front line, but his life force just got melted down by the solution. Looking at the mid lane, Yao Han focusing on the turret. This will be taken down very, very quickly. The longer the game goes, the smaller the map is for LAKAN Esports.
Yeah, this is looking like a MIRM000000 game so far. LAKAN though, it's still not a humongous lead, I suppose. But eventually, when we look at the champions, they're gonna go past their prime. And when we say prime, where they're gonna be very insanely strong. And Spike, Renekton is just gonna get kited a lot. It's just gonna get greeted by a taunt. The same goes for Lee Sin. He is gonna fall off. He's just gonna be a kick bot basically at the end of the later stages of the game. And Tante, we're still not looking at the resets. He's not having a fun time on this Darius, even though let's just say there's just so many squishy targets that he could pick up. But there could be another fight here in the mid lane, though. But look at Dedenne. He is far deep into enemy territory, possibly setting up for Vision there for the next Baron,
Maybe.
perhaps.
But that, at the very least, MIRM0000 did not engage because 4v5 is not going to be in favor of LAKAN. Because are going to come through. Here comes the boy J coming in. Here's a Fisher has been popped as well. Are they going to go with the re-engage? No? Okay, looks like that is going to be a no. Now, MIRM0000, they were able to just lock LAKAN Esports into their base. They are now going to have first dibs on this Mountain Drake. And they will be able to melt this down pretty quickly. So 2 dragons on their side. On top of that, 7 turret takedowns for MIRM0000. LAKAN though, they did have 4 turret takedowns. They can still try to go with this kind of pick-off. Not sure if they should prioritize Rengar. Irelia maybe. They could try to hunt down Yaohan and MIRM0000 himself.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility if Boy is able to isolate those 2 targets. It's so difficult because this is the phase of the game where everybody else is clumped up together. This is the 5v5 stage, I suppose, of the game.
Yes.
So it's so hard to isolate targets. They're always together. And now look at the vision coming from MIRM0000. It's so deep in the jungle of LAKAN. They're looking for a target. They're looking for a pickoff.
That's why they're very much comfortable with this kind of rotation. Tante alongside Boy J, but LAKAN again, they would want to go with their retreat. Because Fisher is available, a lot of vision for the side of MIRM0000. They're just pushing LAKAN Esports back into their base and then just going with their rotates. They can shove the wave, push it at the mid lane. Tante coming in with their recalls. Brown taking quick peeks here and there. They even have the luxury to actually steal the buff from Boy J. This is not gonna spell good for the men in red. Baron though is gonna be up in 13 seconds. LAKAN, they need to steal this if possible.
It's very difficult. Although he's on a Lee Sin, and that's what he's definitely good at the late game. He is also positioned at red side, so he is gonna have a really, or rather, he can get access to this Baron for sure, from behind the Baron pit. So I'm looking forward to the potential steals, and that's the reason why we see Boy lingering around this area and not leaving at all.
And they have to go all in, but MIRM0000 will be able to just cut through this Baron like knife on butter. That's indeed Galio dashing on the able to steal. That is maybe yes, no, maybe can you have the Jinx will be able to get that Baron. Now here comes the calling for MIRM0000. Renection being taken down as the big Kaisa exploding right out their faces. Jump in, follow up. Kites from MIRM0000 is just too strong. You also have the CCs coming in from XDXP. He does have GA. Lucian into deep, but he does not care. What are you gonna do next? A pole is gonna connect. Howling did, but he was able to still rather burst Tante down. He's still up. He's still alive. I do not know what's happening. No way! Able to get the double kill, dude. What was that? And on top of that, MIRM0000 gets game number 1.